Peace and blessings, everybody. This is day 77 of the 90-day game dev challenge. This past week, I spent time adding one of our core enemies from the previous tech demo, which is the RockLobsta. So once again, I started from scratch in order to get his logic working in terms of him chasing the player and having other behaviors. This past week has been pretty challenging internally and with some external challenges, but nonetheless, let's jump right into all of that. All right, so basically, just like the goat leopard, he'll go, to different points of interest around the map. He comes out of his ball form, goes into idle, goes to another point of interest, comes out of ball form. And basically, when he's going on about his business and he happens to see you, he changes direction and he starts coming after you. Now, basically what I want him to do is run right through you, and then he'll go into his, he'll come out of ball form and he'll do an attack. Right now, he's not doing he doesn't have the attack set up, but I got it working to where he will just run over you. And he also does damage, so hold on, let me pause. All right, so if he runs into me, he should take damage. Bam, see? He did 30 damage right here at the top right. So I got him doing damage. All I have to do is add some screen shake and feedback based on when he hits you. That shouldn't take me too long to do that, but I just wanted to get his main logic working. His logic is different from the goat leopard, because the goat leopard's attack, he goes into attack mode, but this rolling is his attack, right? It's one of his attack. And I want to have it to where he will randomly decide whether he wants to chase you or whether he wants to go for and destroy a changer or something like that. So all right, so basically I gave him right here. He has sort of like similar as the goat leopard, but when before he goes to the next point or the next point of interest, he'll sit there for a second. That's what's happening when he comes out of ball form. And we got the bull as false, so that he'll come out of the ball form and go into his idle. Those are some things that I had to do different for his idle and patrol. And then for the chase player, his chase player is completely different than the goat leopard, because he has to go right through the player. There may be a couple actions in here that are the same, but for the most part, I had to do like some different logic here. And then in the top player, pretty much he gets to a certain distance, he'll go right through the player. That's why you see pass through target, direction to player normalize, all that stuff. This basically is just setting him up to just run you right over. So also, one of the things that I ran into in terms of the RockLobsta and trying to get him to run you over, like he would run up to you and then he would just stop. And so I had it at first to where he would run over you according to your character child, but then that wasn't working, because then he would just keep going behind me. So I had to give him a point that's on the other side of the player instead of doing that whatever side he started from, he'll go to the other side. So I managed to get that working, but that was one of the challenges in dealing with getting that logic to work the way I needed to. Following this, I started got it started on his changer transformation animation. So got it up in Blender, and this was a rig that I did in Maya, but we're in Blender now, right? So I don't need to do too many more animations for him, because I also have the little ground pounding animation that he has for an attack. I said, but he does need a unique changer, like depth to changer animation, and so I got started on that. I just gave him some simple IK controls, so I didn't have to rig the whole thing. It has bones, but I just said, let me just give him some simple IK bones and just try to animate this without adding too much time or overhead. So yeah, he just does, he does a little squat, boom, head shakes, boom, like that. So it's kind of like that. That's when you're an animator. I swear, if you guys were to ever see animators in a game studio or in a film or television studio, trust me, I'm not the only one. I am not the only one that makes these sounds and act it out that way, because I'm not a RockLobsta, so I'd have to get on the ground and freak a move. Anyway, So yeah, I got started on this. This will be the next thing that I get in, is that I want his transformation to be cool. Because that's also part of, like, even this right here, like when you're playing the game and you'll be able to see this like happening vertically, and then I'm thinking how he would transform into his changer, or whatever the changer is that he would transform into. But think of his head like a seed. That's why his head dips in the ground like that. So you see his head is gone, and these are just bones. Let me hide the bones for y'all. Let's see this. Armature. Let's hide the armature. All right. So you see the roots are in the ground, and his head is underground. So that's what I want to happen, because I want his head to act as a seed. So that's why I animated it like that. I want to show y'all some technicalities of this animation real quick. So if I select the root bone is what I'm pretty much rotating, and then I'm having to reposition some things because, like I said, just don't have time to rig right now. That's gonna take some time. So you can see here, right? This right here, these keyframes, these are the keyframes where he starts to shake his head, right? Now, I would have done this in the past when I first started animating. I wasn't really using a graph editor. This thing right here is a graph editor, for some of you who don't know, may or may not know. But I wasn't using this. I would just go to each frame and then like rotate. Let's see. Turn the armature back on. Yeah, I would just rotate each way. You know, I would just rotate, go to this frame, and I would rotate. Oh, hold on. Yeah, and I would rotate this way, and then I would come this way. But nah, I didn't have to do all of that. In the graph editor, what it lets you do is I could just hit the keyframes, put a keyframe on each number on the timeline. I could just be like S, 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 you know, S like that, S. Set the keyframes, and then I come in the graph editor here, and then I just take the keyframes and move them all up or down to make it go left and right. So I think down is, let's see, let's check on that keyframe. So I think down is, yeah, down is making his head rotate to the left, and up makes his head rotate to the right. So yeah, like that, those are some things like to prevent yourself from having this speeds things up. So all I did was boom, instead of just, like I said, rotating each frame, you just do that real quick, and then I give him that last boom, like this. And all of this is what we call anticipation, baby. This is anticipation. All of that shake, 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 oh bam. All of that's anticipation. Ooh, bye-bye. So yeah, that's just some technicalities for you guys. You know, because game development is very technical work. Anyway, but it'll be something where you wait, you wait for your opportunity to hit him. You won't, or you'll have to like shoot him while he's in the ball form. So that's what I'm thinking. But if you want to melee attack him, it may not be the best to hit him while he's in a roll. You'd have to like have great timing so you don't get hit. And that's basically what I've been dealing with this week, man. Is because it's the balance of playing offense and defense. You can't just have one or the other. You have to have some type of defense, man. And really making the most of your time, like really making the most of like when I work on a game, or when I socialize, or when I do other things in my life. And sometimes it's like you can spend too much time working. Sometimes I could spend too much time socializing, or and that's just been the challenge over this past week, because there's so much going on, man. But I have to remind myself, like, man, I can't veer off focus. Like, I can't. I do, and I know at the same time, I'm like, I have to prioritize what's important. Like, relationships are important. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, it's awesome for me to be able to make games. Like, that's a relationship with myself, a relationship with things that are bigger than me, which is great, you know? Um, and that's very important. But it's like, hey, we're not on this earth alone. So we weren't put on this earth to be just to ourselves and just do what we want just with ourselves. And so, you know, so that's just been my main thing. Is like, okay, where do you draw the line in certain places, right? Where do you say, okay, this is enough? And where do you say, all right, you know, maybe I need to play offense. I need to go. I need to act. And oh, okay, I need to pull away. I need to let go. You know, this isn't like, you know, because both of them, I I sometimes, like I said, I know I could be like Wolverine, man. I told my homie, I was like, man, you be like Wolverine, like going in, berserker slash, berserker slash, berserker barrage, and and you know, that's crazy. You know, I like Wolverine, man. I'm a big Wolverine fan, but Wolverine has gotten punished by a lot of dudes or a lot of other heroes or enemies because he ain't no one to like stop raging, you know. So, and you know, you can see, man, like I'm just keeping it real and transparent with y'all. Like, it's just sometimes like I'm working, man, and like you can see me right here. I'm like, man, this is tough, you know. You know, my brain is just working. And those are the times where I'm like, yo, all right, maybe I need to step away from the computer. Sometimes I sit there and I'm like, nah, like, you know, I'm not at the end of my 3 hour block yet. Let's just get through this, you know. Let's just keep pressing through. Like, let's say I started at 1 p.m. and like around 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. I'm feeling like this, and the goal is like, okay, or not the goal, but it's like my objective in that time is to work from 1 to 4. Then, man, like, you sometimes you just gotta press through it, you know, press through it and just tell yourself, like, I tell myself, like, man, we're almost there, we're almost to that point. Especially if you don't have no manager or boss looking over your shoulder. Like, this is the type of thing of like really managing yourself and being a boss over yourself. And ultimately, I'm gonna just be 100 grand with y'all. For me, it's just obedience. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, obedience to this bigger picture, to this bigger thing to me. You know, because I look at everything that's at stake and I look at everything that's involved in doing this, and I'm just like, yo, like okay, I could stop, you know, and but definitely, like I said, making sure I don't overdo it. So anyway, that's all. So yeah, man, that's it. That's been the challenge for just over these past couple weeks, and you know, we're in day 77 of this game dev challenge, you know, and I know we have one continue left, but still, it's 13 days or 14 days, 13 or 14 days, 13 until day 90, and I'm hoping that I don't have to use a continue, you know, to accomplish objective one, but I don't know, y'all. I don't know. We're pretty close, so we'll see, man. We'll see. But regardless, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for these lessons. And I'm just gonna keep paying attention to them as much as I can so that I could grow. Like we're growing the plants in these games, man. I think that's a really great thing about this game. It's so many themes, sub themes around what you're doing. So anyway, that's all for today, guys. So I'm glad I got to show y'all this stuff. I'm excited to show y'all more, and stay tuned. You already know what it is. As we seek first the right place and the right time, we prevail. Bare hand, we are in the most high definition. We're out of here.